Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everyone. So this morning we're going to be having a very fresh analysis once again on SPS, also known as SPS S&P 500. So we've had over the week a kind of a volatility in the market. Reason because there was a new launch, and that new launch was SpaceX, which we all heard about that Elon Musk just launched. So this morning, let's look at technical analysis. We're not looking at fundamental right now because we agree that what actually drives the market is fundamental. But for this morning, we're going to be taking more of technical analysis. Now, for that to take place, we've had over the week on technical analysis and fundamentals of all these pairs, both gold, S&P 500, GBP USD, GBP JPY, NASDAQ, which is also known as US 100, USD, JPY, and others. So the video is below, so you can click and subscribe to our YouTube so that you have to view all these technical analysis we drop all the time. So as we do that, let's go straight to the analysis. So what we have on our screen is already a worked on analysis. Now let's go back to monthly to analyze what we have here. Now on the monthly, we have a very clear bullish, and there was a resistance somewhere here. Let me use this. There was a resistance somewhere here. So we have resistance at 7,598 at market cap. So we look at the below, we have where we have a support. The support is 6,335, and we have another support below, which as at that time this was supposed to be the resistance, but this is the nearest support, which is 4,891. Now for us to be able to look at this critically, let's go back to our weekly to check. Now on our weekly, we have a very clear direction in the sense that we have resistance and we have another support at 7,187, and we have another support below at 6,312. So what we did at this point was to use our Fibonacci at this level to check where the retracement may likely be for a continuation of a buy. Now we click on our Fib, then we take it down to the first low, and on the first low we have 0.5, then we marked it at we have a 0.6 at that first zone, we have 0.5 at this second zone, and we have the third one is where we have the support. We take the third one as our support. Now we have the first retracement zone. Then we remove the Fibonacci level. Let's see how it goes. When you remove the Fibonacci level, we have the trend line is the major strong zone here. That means the market may likely go up, then possible resist at this zone as it were. Then it has come back to this first point of interest, then go back again for a retracement to form a double top, then come back to this trend line. So we take our trend line as a very major strong zone. Now we move to daily. On our daily, then let's remove some of these. Now we already have the direction. Then we clear this up so that we can see what we're doing. Now we're going to take this as our first point of interest. Now what we need to do is to mark this and take this as our exit, or entry level. Then we go back to 4 hour, because I always consider S&P 500 to be more of an entry for a swing trade because of its volatility movement. Sometimes it might be slow, but it's very, very respecting the trend. So what we have here is we're going to place our buy mode here, then take this as our first take profit, our second take profit, then our third take profit. That's how we're going to do this trade. This is the setup for S&P 500. Then we go below to little less below So this is what we're going to be having for our trade for S&P 500. So it's a very short analysis and very clear and direct. If you want to go below, you can take your 1 hour as your entry. It's still the same, but it might give you a very long exit. But some people who are short traders might likely to come in here at 7,219, which is the first point of interest, and we have another point of interest, which is the Fibonacci for the second zone, while we have this as third zone. But if you are going to sell this is also a system where you can sell if you want to sell. But for me, overall direction is a buy. But if you are going to sell, this is how we're going to do this trade, right? So this is what we'll be looking at, because we'll use this as a very little above as our take profit. Sorry, SA, little above the last high. Then we can trade it down, but let this one be your major point of interest. This is 7,234. That should be your first point of interest before we look below. So this is how we're going to trade this market. If possible, we might zoom down here, but let's see what those confluences we're going to see, like your candles formation, your volatility patterns, maybe your M pattern, your W pattern, or whatever you're going to see. Those you can use for your confluences must be very clear before we can take our entry at this level. But for me, if this market, the way it is a sell, but when it gets here, these are areas we're going to clear out before we can go for possible buy to push up again, or target our point of interest as our first take profit and exit. Then wait for any action that will happen in between this zone before you can position your a buy. This is what we have for SPS this morning, also known as S&P 500. Thank you so much. Don't forget to click and like and follow us in all our trades so that you can also enjoy our technical analysis all the time.